Bonjour, buenos dias. This is Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. And of course, we have to mention the date. Today is the Friday, the 9th of December, 2022. And this is lesson number 38 of what I call languages and cultures. The idea is to also do all the languages of the world if we can, or mention them at least. But because I am a teacher of French, qualified here at Melbourne Uni, I was very pleased to be able to pick it up again. And I can tell you one thing, that it's okay to know the grammar. It's okay to know the literature. It's okay to know the history and everything else about France. But the challenge is to actually speak like a French person. Parce que je veux pratiquer la langue avec quelqu'un qui parle français. C'est moi qui l'enseigne le français, qui ne le parle pas très bien comme un Français. Et je dois chercher d'améliorer cette langue. Pour moi, parce qu'il y a 4 habilités pour apprendre une langue. Et ces habilités sont écouter, parler, lire et écrire. I didn't do too badly there, did I? So what I'm trying to say is that I have difficulties, even though I do, and I'm pretty, I think I know the grammar, but not to the degree that you might think. I have to look things up occasionally because, there's just too much of it. The French is a complex language, especially with the nouns. The nouns is a huge number. They haven't simplified it at all. They, French likes to do things in very particular ways. Even the literature is like that. So very detailed descriptions. I love that. It increases the power of expression. So that's French for you. French has become, or was, a world language, still is, a bit like Latin in the past. And now English. And I assume in the future it'll be Chinese. We'll see how we go. Russian hasn't picked up that way. Spanish has. These nations that colonized other nations brought with them the language and the culture, including their religion, a great motivator to conquer other people. Now, it's a challenge for all of us to accept that belief can be an arm for negative experiences within humanity. So, to achieve peace, one has to accept the fact that other people can have other beliefs. The problem is that when you have the other belief, you think that everyone else should have it in the same way. So you need to take it easy. You need to balance that evangelism with the need to accept harmony that will come from knowing that someone else can have a different life experience from us in all sorts of ways, in religion, in politics, in food, in dress, you name it. The themes, there are many themes. And that's the beauty of the world. It's varied and it's interesting. So let's accept it the way it is. But that doesn't mean that people can't have a choice to change to the other. But as long as it's done in a peaceful way, I don't mind it at all. It's only when violence comes into play that, you want to impose your own beliefs on others. That's when I have difficulties. However, I'm always trying to sell something, so I suppose, I too suffer a little bit from that problem. Maybe. I hope not, but maybe. It's 11:30. Enough of the philosophy by TomPadula. Let's go to what we're learning at the moment. Now, I need a bit of a drink. Lucky I brought it up. Nothing like a drink. Nothing like a drink. Okay. Let's go. Now, we did last time, we said that you had to describe yourself, your friends and relatives using sentences like je suis une fille sportive, ma tante est intelligente et intéressante, je suis, etc., etc. Okay? Now, these are the adjectives. Now we continue. Adjectives that change meaning according to position. So that's another one that the French are good at. You have, for example, amère, une amère expérience, un goût amer, but a bitter experience, but a bitter taste. So if you put it after, une amère expérience, un goût amer. Un ancien professeur, un professeur ancien. A former teacher, an old teacher. Un homme bon, a kind man. Un bon homme is a good man. Un brave homme, a good fella. Un homme brave, a courageous man. Un certain risque, un risque certain. A certain risk, some risk, or an unquestionable risk. Une certaine élégance, une élégance certaine. So particular elegance, an indisputable elegance. Un certain jour, one day, un certain jour. Cher, un cher ami. Une robe chère. Dernière, la dernière semaine de l'année. La semaine dernière. So the last week of the year. La dernière semaine de l'année, but la semaine dernière, last week. Différente. Des personnes différentes. Various persons and different persons. Diverses circumstances. Des circumstances diverses. Several circumstances, various circumstances. Une fausse note, a note out of tune. Une note fausse, a wrong note. Grand, un grand écrivain, an écrivain grand. A great writer, a tall writer. An écrivain grand means tall. Une honnête femme, une femme honnête, a virtuous woman, an honest woman. Un jeune homme, a young man, un homme jeune, a man still young. Une maigre existence, a poor meager existence. Une femme maigre, a thin or skinny woman. Malhonnête, un malhonnête homme, a dishonest man. An homme malhonnête, a rude man. So the idea here, I'm going to show you this. The idea is for you to understand. If you put the adjective before or after, it can have a different meaning. And so see, these are some of the examples. These are the ones we did. Okay? And it gives you the English as well. So, une amère expérience, une goutte amère. Again, come to me if you want to really learn, and we'll go through these together. You get the books, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so that's important that you have the tools in front of you. Because otherwise, how can you learn? You can't do it just on, like we're doing it now. Okay, so that's yes, good. Okay, I've done that one. Now let's continue. Même, la même chose, la chose même, the same thing or the thing itself. Le jour même, the very day, même le professeur, even the teacher. le Moyen Âge, the Middle Ages, l'âge moyen, Middle Age. Je ne suis pas aujourd'hui de l'âge moyen. I am no longer today in my middle age. You can make sentences out of this in order to learn them better. Une nouvelle robe, a new dress, une robe nouvelle, a new style dress. Hein? J'aime beaucoup avoir une robe nouvelle. I love, a new style dress. Un pauvre garçon, a poor unfortunate boy, un garçon pauvre, a poor penniless boy. Hein? Ces garçons-là est pauvre. So you can say, le pauvre garçon n'avait pas de money. If you don't remember, just put in the word in English. But at least you're trying to get there. Propre, prochaine, la prochaine fois, la semaine prochaine. So the next time, la prochaine fois, the next time, la prochaine fois que j'enseigne le français sera une journée très jolie pour moi. I'm making them up. La semaine prochaine, je veux aller apprendre des cerises. Next week I will go to get some cherries. Propre, sa propre chambre, his or her own room, une chambre propre. A clean room, une chambre propre. C'est ma maison, mes chambres propres sont très jolies. Les propres termes, les termes propres, the very actual words are the termes propres. Sale, un sale homme, a bad man, un homme sale, a dirty physically man. Un homme sale is someone who's dirty. Seul, une seule personne, only one person, une personne seule, a single person. Triste, un triste livre, a poor worthless book, un livre triste, a sad book. Vilain, un vilain personnage, a disagreeable character, un personnage vilain, an ugly character. Une vraie histoire, quite a story, une histoire vraie, a true story. Okay, so pauvre, ce garçon n'a pas d'argent. So here they're saying to you, to us, make up some sentences. For example, ce garçon n'a pas d'argent, ce garçon n'a pas d'amis. C'est un garçon pauvre, c'est un pauvre garçon. Ce monument est vieux, Monsieur Dumont est mon professeur. Ce monument est vieux, Monsieur Dupont est mon professeur vieux. Cet homme est courageux, cet homme est bon, ses chandails coûtent beaucoup, c'est un ami fidèle. La semaine passée, il est allé au cinéma, c'est la semaine finale du trimestre. Diverses personnes sont venues, de nouvelles personnes sont venues. C'est un écrivain célèbre, c'est un écrivain de grande taille, ce garçon est pitoyable, ce garçon n'a pas d'argent, cette chambre est nette, c'est ma chambre à moi, cette femme ne pèse pas beaucoup, cette vie n'est pas agréable. So you continue like that. Okay, and then the other one is rewrite each of the following sentences, inserting the correct form of the indicated adjectives in the correct position. I'm not going to do that, but I will assume that you can do that when you come here to see me, and we can go through the book and, help you along with the learning of French. Don't forget, though, grammar is not the language. The language is when you speak it fluently, like a French person, or almost. Grammatically correct, you become even a better speaker of French if you are an adult. Welcome to Benny Lachura. So people want to learn French, come to me, because the philosophy that I adopt for adults is very different from what today there's around in terms of the teaching of French to adults. A lot of people want to go back in time to school time. This is how we're taught in schools. That's what I expect to do. Don't you give me homework? Don't you do this? And I say, how can you do that in 1 hour a week? Or even 2? Then if you don't touch it, you can't learn a language like that. You have to become, what I say, an independent learner. You are the boss of your own learning. You give yourself tests. You do the reading. You do the listening. You do the writing. Anyone else who helps you, including the teacher, is only an aid to you. So, you know, that's my way. Someone else says, this TomPadula, what is it, you know, this is ridiculous. I want to come to your class and just do a couple of exercises, do them really well, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. And after a year, do you speak French? No. Do you even remember the days of the week, the months of the year, the season, the numbers, the colors? The words about yourself. Can you introduce yourself to somebody? Je suis TomPadula. Je suis né in Italy, en Italie. Je suis venu en Australie, etc., etc. J'enseignais le français, l'italien, etc. So you have to make up, and that you can do with a presentation about yourself. And you can use some of these then in that. But does that mean, again, that you speak the French fluently, like a Frenchman? Well, I can tell you that I could write. I did write some poetry in French when I was learning French, but does it mean then that I speak French fluently, or I write it as fluently as someone who has studied in France and has practiced French every day? It's a question of practice. We never really learn the whole lot. We just don't do it. Okay, so that's enough for today, for the grammar part of this wonderful language called French, which is Français, which is also a world language, and for a long time, French alongside Latin was the dominant language in Europe and also in the colonies as well. And then eventually, it's been overcome by English as well. So there's always been a bit of tension between England and France, and I alluded to that in my world history lesson, presentation, podcast, last Thursday, in other words, yesterday. And, Now, I keep on coming back here to Les Femmes Parlent Trop, and, okay, Simone fait bonne impression. These two booklets here are plays which helps you to pick up how you should write the language. For example, Marguerite says, peut-être, mais cela ne fera mal à personne. One little line from Simone fait bonne impression. So these two one-act plays are in my earlier lessons of languages and cultures, French and Spanish, etc. So go to insegna.com, go to blog, go to languages and cultures, press that, and you will get the first lesson, which is the last number down the bottom of the first page. So there are pages 1, 2, 3, etc. The last number, that's where you find the first lesson. And don't be afraid to send me an email if you want to, that you've learned something, that you've read. My email is TomPadulaTV@gmail.com. don't be afraid to send it to me and say, Tom Padula, I've done lessons 1 and 2 and 3. I've learned a bit, you know, how can I... So you need to communicate with me as well. Welcome to Angela Imler. Okay, the next one is now, compte sympathique. Compte sympathique. So last time we got up to page 17. So this time here we got to l'enseigne. L'enseigne. Wow, it's like insegna. I'll just show it to you. That's the one I'm going to read now. All right? It's that much and that much. And notice the exercises. And you get the exercises here as well. Okay, so this is a lovely book to read because it's got a lot of little short stories, and also it's got some help. Okay, so I'm going to read it now. Here we go. L'enseigne. Monsieur Moule a dit le jeune homme au poissonnière. Oh, no, I'm going to... let's do half and half. Huh? The first half I read, the second half I'll show you as well, okay? So, Monsieur Moule a dit le jeune homme au poissonnière. Je m'appelle Guy. Je suis peintre d'enseigne et je vois que vous n'avez pas d'enseigne comme les autres marchands. Regardez, je vous en prie, l'enseigne de votre voisin, le tailleur. Tailleur costume fait sur mesure. Ou celle du cordonnier, cordonnerie, raccommodage pendant que vous attendez. Ou celle du boucheur, boucherie, notre viande reste réfrigérée. Et voilà l'entrepreneur des pompes funèbres, entreprise des pompes funèbres, nos clients ne se plaignant jamais. The funeral parlors is our clients never complained. No wonder they're all dead by the time they get to you. Permettez-moi, monsieur, de vous préparer aussi une de ces enseignes magnifiques, poissonnerie. Ici, l'on vend du poisson frais. Here we sell fresh fish. Okay, I'm going to show it to you now. Okay, so let me see. Je n'ai pas besoin d'enseigne, monsieur Guy. Surtout, je n'ai pas besoin de celle que vous me suggérez. Écoutez-moi bien, je vous expliquerai loignement pourquoi c'est un gaspillage. It's a waste d'argent. Considérons le mot ici. Il est évident que si l'on vend du poisson, si le poisson n'est pas frais, il est impossible de le vendre. Donc, on n'a pas besoin du mot frais. Poissonnerie, ou vendant du poisson dans une boulangerie, le mot poissonnerie n'est pas nécessaire. On vend. Bien sûr qu'on vend. Tout le monde comprend qu'on vend du poisson. Il ne reste qu'un mot. Poisson. Fermez les yeux, monsieur, et respirez. Dites-moi, est-ce qu'il vous faut une enseigne pour savoir qu'ici, dans ce magasin, on vend du poisson? Because it smells, no? It's, the guy is a very tight person. He doesn't believe in advertising his products. Okay, so that's it. Did you notice that? That was beautiful. And I actually understood the story straight away. So, as I say to my students too, the ones who come to me now, I say, well, you've got this, you're an adult, all you got to do is transfer that into English. And by doing that, you translate. But do you know the language if you just translate? You'll have done the activity. But does that mean that you can now speak about l'enseigne? Je suis un garçon qui pondre les enseignes. Voulez-vous, monsieur, je vous pondre une enseigne pour votre poissonnerie. There you are. I struggled with it a bit. I've used some of the words in what I said. Okay, so that's l'enseigne. It's, reading in French and also translating. Reading comprehension, then you do the exercises and away you go. Okay? It's not bad. Now, we're going to do a bit of parlons en français. Okay? And last time, we're going to do now parlons en français. Okay? Let's have a look. Lecture. Monsieur Ledroux passe à la douane. Il a ouvert sa valise pour l'inspection et le douanier qui inspecte le contenu demande: avez-vous quelque chose à déclarer? Cigares, cigarettes, vin, liqueurs, parfum. Monsieur Ledroux répond: non, rien. J'ai acheté une cartouche de cigarettes dans l'avion et c'est tout. Le douanier referme la valise et dit: bon, ça va passer. Monsieur Ledroux prend sa valise et marche vers la sortie. Isn't that beautiful, huh? And I understood all that. We're at the customs, in front of the customs. Do you have anything to declare? No, I don't, but I only bought a carton of cigarettes on the plane. And he says, etc., etc. Then you get to the questions. Okay, you've read the bit. Let's say, again, I've only got a few books of these, so if anyone wants them, you better come and get them. Here we go. These are the questions. Que fait Monsieur Ledroux? Est-ce que sa valise est ouverte ou fermée? Que fait le douanier? Est-ce que Monsieur Ledroux a acheté des liqueurs et des parfums dans l'avion? Qu'est-ce qu'il a acheté? Que demande le douanier? Oui, referme la valise, Monsieur Ledroux, ou le douanier? Qui porte la valise? Est-ce que Monsieur Ledroux marche vers l'avion? I think he goes out, doesn't he? Because he comes from the plane. Then conversation. You can do this with another person who learns French. Preferably one of your colleagues at the University of the Third Age. If you're one of those people, then you need to make a little team of people who want to learn French, who are really serious about it and want to spend some good quality time learning the language. Est-ce que nous parlons votre langue maternelle? Quelle langue parlons-nous ici? Est-ce que vous parlez bien français? Est-ce que c'est un stylo agenda, sac à main français? Est-ce que c'est une montre, une serviette, une bague française? Est-ce que ce sont des cigarettes allumettes, boucles d'oreilles françaises ou américaines? Où avez-vous acheté votre stylo? Où avez-vous acheté votre serviette? Est-ce que votre agenda est plus grande ou plus petite que votre livre? Est-ce qu'une cigare est plus grande ou plus petite qu'une cigarette? Est-ce qu'un sac à main est plus grand ou plus petite qu'un sac de voyage? Est-ce que vous avez acheté votre serviette, sac à main, etc. Qu'est-ce qu'on met dans une serviette, un sac à main? Est-ce que les appareils de photo, les parfums, les liqueurs sont des choses à déclarer à la douane? Est-ce que les livres et les journaux sont aussi à déclarer à la douane? So that's not bad at all. Okay. There we are. Woof, that's hard work. Now, when you've worked so hard and you think, oh, gee, I've done my French today, but I was so good that now I deserve a bit of revision of my poems. Okay, so let's go from the back back to the front this time, okay? And we'll go from La Nuit. Have you got the words in front of you? Look them up. La Nuit, lyrics, in Google or Chrome or Safari. I remembered Safari this time. Let's go. Si je t'oublie pendant le jour, je passe mes nuits à te maudire, et quand la lune se retire, j'ai l'âme vide et le cœur lourde. La nuit tu m'apparais immense, j'étends les bras pour te saisir, mais tu prends un malin plaisir à tes jouets de mes vacances. La nuit, je deviens fou, et puis ton rire fond la noire, et je ne sais plus où chercher, quand tout s'était revient l'espoir, et je me reprends à tes mères. Tantôt tu me reviens fugace, et tu m'appelles pour m'énorgueillir, mais chaque fois mon sang se glace, ton rire vient tout effacer. La nuit, je deviens fou, la nuit, je deviens fou. Le jour dissipe ton image, et tu repars je ne sais où, vers celui qui te tient en cage, celui qui va me rendre fou. La nuit, je deviens fou, je deviens fou. You noticed that I read that because I could not remember, let's say, I could not remember the actual, I couldn't remember the actual tune. So you can read it instead, okay? But this one here, I will remember the tune, okay? It's called Tombe la neige. Tombe la neige, tu ne viendras pas ce soir. Tombe la neige, et mon cœur s'habille de noir. Ce soyeux cortège, tout en larmes blanches, l'oiseau sur la branche pleure le sortilège. Tu ne viendras pas ce soir, me crie mon désespoir, mais tombe la neige, impassible ma neige. Tombe la neige, tu ne viendras pas ce soir. Tombe la neige, tout est blanc de désespoir, triste certitude. Le froid de l'absence, cet odieux silence, blanche solitude. Tu ne viendras pas ce soir, mais crie mon désespoir. Mais tombe la neige, impassible ma neige. Mais tombe la neige, impassible ma neige. So you notice there that I was able to remember the actual words of the song. Now the next one is Milord, but there's much time. I'm not going to do that. Oh yes, I'll just do that one there because I did Non rien de rien à la vie en rose last time. We'll do just this one here, and then we'll go to Spanish. Okay. Allez, venez, milord, vous asseoir à ma table. Il fait si froid dehors, ici c'est confortable. Laissez-vous faire, milord, et prenez bien vos aises, vos peintures, mon cœur, et vos pieds sur une chaise. Je vous connais, milord, vous ne m'avez jamais vu. Je suis qu'une fille du porte, qu'une ombre de la rue. Pourtant je vous offrais, quand vous passiez hier, vous n'étiez pas peu fière. Dame, le ciel vous comblait votre foulard de soie flottant sur vos épaules, vous aviez le beau rôle, honoré, dit le roi. Vous marchez en vainqueur au bras d'une demoiselle, mon Dieu, qu'elle était belle, je n'en froid dans le cœur. Allez, venez, milord, vous asseoir à ma table. Il fait si froid dehors, ici c'est confortable. Laissez-vous faire, milord, et prenez bien vos aises, vos pains sur mon cœur, et vos pieds sur une chaise. Je vous connais, milord, vous ne m'avez jamais vu. Je suis qu'une fille du porte, qu'une ombre de la roue. Dire qu'il suffit parfois qu'il y ait un navire pour que tout se déchire quand le navire s'en va. Il emmenait avec lui la douce aux yeux si tendres qui n'a pas su comprendre qu'elle brisait votre vie. L'amour, ça fait pleureur, comme quoi l'existence, ça vous donne toutes les chances pour les reprendre après. Allez, venez, milord, vous avez l'air du môme, laissez-vous faire, milord, venez dans mon royaume, je soigne les remords, je chante les romances, je chante les milords qui n'ont pas eu de chance. Regardez-moi, milord, vous ne m'ayez jamais vu, mais vous pleurez, milord, ça j'aurais jamais cru. Eh bien, voyons, milord, souriez-moi, milord, mieux que ça, un petit effort, voilà, c'est ça. Allez, rien, milord, allez, chantez, milord. La 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 la. Mais oui, dansez, milord. La 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 la. Bravo, milord. La 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 la. Encore, milord. La 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 la. Well, we got to the end. It's 12 o'clock. We've done half an hour of French. C'est assez pour aujourd'hui. It's enough for today in the French. Okay? Now we're going to change. We're going to go to Spanish. And this time here, since we are in the, in the mood, right? Do you remember this one? Cuando caliente el sol, aquí en la playa, siento tu cuerpo vibrar cerca de mí, es tu palpitar, es tu cara, es tu pelo, son tus besos, me estremezco cuando calienta el sol. Cuando calienta el sol aquí en la playa, siento tu cuerpo vibrar cerca de mí, es tu palpitar, tu recuerdo, mi locura, mi delirio, mi estremezco cuando calienta el sol, cuando calienta el sol. Love me with all your heart, that's all I want, love. Love me with all your heart, or not at all. Just promise me this, that you give me all your kisses every summer, every winter, every fall. Cuando calienta el sol, cuando calienta el sol. Not bad, huh? It's of course, it's Spanish. Of course it's Spanish. I feel like today I do, there's a lot of words here. Okay, I'm going to pick up one starting with E, okay? Cada, el oldo, that's the ear. El dolor de oídos, earache. Temprano, that's early. Los pendientes, the earrings. El este, east. La Pascua, Easter. Fácil, easy. Comer, to eat, comer. Yo come, not bad. Egg, el huevo. Elastic, el elástico. Elbow, el codo. Electric light bulb, la burquilla eléctrica. Elevator, el ascensor. Embassy, la embajada. Emergency exit, la salida de emergencia. Empty, vacío. End, el fin. Engine, la máquina. England, Inglaterra. English, inglés. Enlargement, la ampliación. Enough, bastante. Inquiries, la información. Entrance, la entrada. Envelope, el sobre. Equipment, el equipo. Europe, Europa. Evening, la tarde. La tarde is the evening. Every, cada. Everybody, todos. Everything, todo. Everywhere, on todas partes. Example, el ejemplo. Except, excepto. Excess, el exceso. Exchange of bureau, la casa de cambio. Exchange rate, el cambio. Excursión, la excursión. Exhibition, la exposición. Exit, la salida. Expect, esperar. Expensive, caro. Express, urgente. Express train, el rápido. I, el hoyo. Hoyo. Oh, I did the E ones, E vocabulary. You got a lot of vocabulary. But do you speak Spanish? Can you turn that into actually reading in Spanish? That's the interesting part, believe it or not. And now we're going to do something else. We're going to do, let me see. Let me see. Okay. Yes, we're going to do 36. Okay, let's go. El Señor Gill is at a travel agency. When offered some, he answers that he wants all. Answer for him using si todos los or si todas las according to the gender. Well, I'm not going to give you the answers, I'm just going to read them. ¿Desea usted dulces? Sí, todos los dulces. Do you want some candy? Yes, all the candy. ¿Desea usted uvas? Sí, todas las uvas. Do you want grapes? Yes, all the grapes. Okay, so let's go and just read the words, the sentences. ¿Estudia usted libros sobre España para su viaje? ¿Necesita usted folletos? ¿Usa usted mapas? ¿Escucha usted canciones y programas desde España? ¿Usa usted metros o un carro allí? ¿Escucha usted idiomas en MP3? ¿Visita usted universidades y museos allí? So you are traveling agent, your English-speaking client wants to know that what language are spoken in places she may visit. She asks in English, you answer in a complete Spanish sentence, electing a language from those given below. Role play. Model Japan, el Japón habla japonés. Japan speaks Japanese. El Japón habla japonés. Havana, Venezuela, Peru, USA, Mexico. Vocabulary, español, inglés. Your uncle, Leo, expresses his opinion in sweeping generalizations. Euplalia, generalize using the words given in parentheses in complete sentences using es, is, and son, a. Trabajo no difícil, pero horas muchas. El trabajo no es difícil, pero las horas son muchas. Work is not hard, but hours are long, etc., etc. Okay, we got l'amor todo, pero experiencia, profesora, televisión, importante, pero aire fresco, necesario, ciudades aquí, grandes, pero parques pequeños, programa de TV, tontos, pero museos interesantes, universidades excelentes, pero dinero importante para pagarlas. Tell us who are going to the rave, using the masculine plural to include the feminine members. Note abuela is grandmother. Tia is aunt. Role play. Abuela. Don abuela. Your grandmother. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? We'll learn a new word. Van el sobrino Pepe y la sobrina Lola? Sí, los sobrinos Pepe y Lola van. And if you join these Lola going, yet y el hijo y la hija. Sí, los hijos también. Yes, the son and daughters too. Yan el padre y la madre, y el hermano y la hermana, también el abuelo y la abuela, y el tío Manolo y la tía Clara, también el niño y la niña, y el tío Manolo y la tía Clara, también el niño Juan y las niñas Ana y Sonia. Speak up, role play, situation. Your cousin asks your opinion about whether it is good to live in a large city or in a small town. You explain the advantages of each. 3 sentences are good, 4 very good, 5 are more excellent. El mejor vivir en la ciudad o en el pueblo. Clues tell what is, etc. So this is one of the creative exercises that you can do. Okay? So that's that. It's another one. Well, I'm going to try this one now. I'm going to try this other song. Historia de un amor. Everyone should learn this. Well, I'm trying. It's been months now that I'm doing it, but do I remember the words? Ya no estás más a mi lado, corazón, y en el alma solo tengo soledad. Y ya no puedo verte, porque Dios me hizo quererte para hacerme sufrir más. Siempre fuiste la razón de mi existir. Adorarte para mí fue religión. En tus besos encontraba el calor que me brindabas, el amor y la pasión. Es la historia de un amor como no hay otro igual, que me hizo comprender todo el bien, todo el mal, que le dio luz a mi vida, apagándola después. Ay, qué vida tan oscura, sin tu amor no viviré. Ya no estás más a mi lado, corazón, y en el alma solo tengo soledad. Y si ya no puede verte, porque Dios me hizo quererte, para hacerme sufrir más. Es la historia de un amor, como no hay otro igual, que me hizo comprender todo el bien, todo el mal, que le dio luz a mi vida, apagándola después. Ay, qué vida tan oscura, si tu amor no viviré. Ya no estás más a mi lado, corazón, y en el alma solo tengo soledad, y si ya no puede verte, porque Dios me hizo quererte para hacerme sufrir más, sufrir más, sufrir más. Well, on that, sufrir más, I'm not going to suffer it anymore. I'm going to stop there for Spanish, and that's it for today. For Spanish, I would have liked to have read some pieza here. This is a beautiful play as well, but it's got some music as well. So I don't know. I don't know. See, this one is from Mexico. La señora de Martínez. Niñas, allí viene el profesor de baile. A la criada. Introduzca usted a ese caballero. Las niñas muestran alegría. La criada sale y entra con el profesor. El señor profesor don Francisco Herrera. El profesor haciendo reverencias. Señoras, señorita, a sus órdenes. Ah, that's beautiful. You know, once you start with a language, you can actually you begin to understand it. You don't have to understand everything, but you do understand quite a lot. And so I sort of been saying, how about the Portuguese? You know, is it similar to Latin, to Spain? As 13 colonias. My God. Huh? O inicio da guerra. Well, what about, I'm just going to read a little bit of it, okay? This is Neo. This is Neo. Ooh, look at this. I don't know, there's something here about about a letter from distant part of the United States. Here, see that? Connecticut, etc. A revolta de Boston. The revolution of Boston. Por mais incerta que sea a nossa situação, é tal a calma actual da pessoas que estrangeiro dificilmente poderá acreditar que anteontem à tarde foram destruídas 10,000 libras de chá da campanha dos Índias. E não entendo, isto é totalmente verdade. Disseram-me que cerca de 200 pessoas se tinham reunido em Fort Hill e desceram duas ao porto onde os navios estavam ancorados, com 114 caixas deste infeliz produto. Antes das 9 de noite, todas as caixas estarão embocadas e atiradas no amor, do mar, ao mar. Disseram-me que tinham sido os índios que o fizeram, verdade ou mentira, eles aparecerão como tal. Estavam vestidos com mantas, a cabeça envolta num pano, e a sua pele era acobreada. Todos tinham na mão machado e uma pistola, e ninguém compreendia o que diziam. Well, I think that's enough for me now. So I've given my 5 minutes for Portuguese. I have to look into this language a lot more closely, but you know, I have to look at the grammar part. You know, the words are easy to find, but the rest of it is not. Okay, on that note, well, thank you very much for being with me today, and thank you to all those people who come on during the week. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you need my assistance with your learning of French especially, but also Spanish if you want to. Learn it along with me. We'll see what happens. I have a lot of books in 20 languages. You look them up in insegna.com and you go to the blog section down the bottom. After you've looked at the relevant covers of the books and the shop, and you have to go to the right language. Let me know if it's easy for you to navigate my website, insegna.com. Okay, on that note, gracias again, au revoir, adios, à la prochaine. The next time, okay, this is Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and, of course, Insegna Booksellers. Ciao.